addressing the commission, please remember to state and spell your name clearly and to speak into the microphone. We will be calling agenda item number 1, transfer application number 22-24356, Thomas Naylor LLC.
Good afternoon, Chair Hong and members of the commission. Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of Thomas Naylor LLC, doing business as Open Kitchen Oahu. We have no changes to the investigative report. Appearing with me is Thomas Naylor.
Okay. Mr. Patilas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Okay. Is there anyone who'd like to speak for or against this application? Seeing none, commissioners, any questions?
None. I have no questions.
Motion to approve transfer application number 22-24356.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve transfer application number 22-24356. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is approved.
Thank you very much.
Calling agenda item number 2, transfer application number 24-02152, Jiyun Corporation.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Min Young-woo on behalf of Jiyun Corporation. On my right is the Jacqueline Park.
Okay, Mr. Patilas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to testify for or against this application? Seeing none, commissioners, any questions?
Motion to approve transfer application number 24-02152.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve transfer application number 24-02152. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 3, application number 23-00771, AIV Hawaiian Grill LP.
Good afternoon, Chair, Commissioners. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Stephanie Koba, representing AIV, and to my right is Kazu Kato, K-A-T-O. He is the General Manager for AIV.
Mr. Patilas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This matter was continued from the November 14, 2024 meeting. Public hearing kept open to repost the agenda and mail out the notice of hearing with the correct suite number, Suite 3. The Liquor Commission covered the cost of the second mail out. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience who'd like to testify for or against this application? Seeing none, commissioners?
None. I have no questions.
Motion to approve application number 23-00771.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve application number 23-00771. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, calling agenda item number 4, application number 23-00907, MDH Holdings LLC. Hello.
Hi, my name is Justin Alexander and I'm the manager of MDH Holdings. Unfortunately, James Lee couldn't make it today, but here for preliminary hearing. Yep. I would like to make one noted correction is we would like to apply, it should say a class 2 restaurant license with no live music.
Questions?
So I'm not sure, Commissioner, do we need to make a motion to adjust the posted agenda? Because if it's, does the agenda list what type of license and category?
Does this category 3, music and dancing?
Yeah, does it list that on the agenda? Because if it does, I think we would need to make a motion to
Yes.
correct the agenda.
No?
At the action. It's the wrong class. So to continue it and figure out what's going on first.
Oh, because the report itself is incorrect rather
Based
than
on
just
last
the
week.
agenda
So
item.
the only way is to withdraw and it would have to go be reinvestigated as a restaurant.
Wow, okay. So I think,
Is that how you'd want to pursue, Mr. Alexander?
Well, I'd hate to go back and start over again, but we definitely don't want to have music because for the community. So,
you can choose not to play music, and we
Right.
can make that a restriction in your license so that everybody is clear that you're not playing music, even though you are licensed to play music.
right.
So I guess the next question is, it says category 3, which is like a dispenser, right? So you actually want to change it totally to a restaurant, right?
Oh, I
Correct.
see.
Yeah.
Oh, it's class dispenser.
Yeah, so like he's going from
No.
3 to 2 and from dispenser to restaurant, so there's a
Oh,
different.
God. Okay. I
Okay.
don't think we can do anything.
You can- Okay,
Wait,
Uh,
I don't know if it would be continue and then work with administration to change it, or it has to start over. I don't know that
You have
part.
to withdraw.
But I would think you'd have to withdraw and resubmit. Because it's a whole change, yeah.
Yeah. It's actually a different type of investigation and licensing and spaces they're looking at, right? Because there's other restrictions for a restaurant type of establishment than just a general dispenser type
Right.
license.
The process may go quicker since most of the information is there, but there's a change in. I guess how you want to do it.
Yeah.
It's a
Right.
whole change in class, you know.
maybe the best is to do a continuation until I can speak with legal counsel. Or is that an option?
we can hold this hearing open. So
Well, it's
that-
only preliminary, right?
Oh, it's only
So
preliminary.
You
Yeah,
could
that's true.
basically, we
Yeah.
could basically say that we're gonna give you a 2-week, 4-week continuance in the matter, so you can speak to your legal counsel on the best way
Okay.
to proceed.
Okay. That
2 weeks
sounds
or 4 weeks?
good. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The motion is going to be to continue agenda item number 4, application number 23-00907 for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I don't know what date that is.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to provide a 2-week continuance for application number 23-00907. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The continuance is approved. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Unfortunate. Calling agenda item number 5, application number 24-01484, Dining Innovation Hawaii Inc.
Good afternoon. To my right is the Malaysia president. He is present with Council Wayne Luke. We have no changes to the investigators.
Okay, commissioners, any questions?
I have no questions.
Any update on the renovation? So when looking at the report, it saw that in the inspection, it was totally gutted.
Construction hopefully will be finished in the next couple of weeks, but we're still working with HECO to come in to make some changes for HECO's sake, but we don't have a date of them coming in yet. Hopefully we can open sometime next month.
I've got a question. Motion to approve application number 24-01484.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve application number 24-01484. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is approved.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 6, application number 24-01633, Oahu Drinks Inc.
Good afternoon, Jason Hayes, Oahu Drinks President, representing the company today.
Just a second.
For the preliminary hearing.
Yep. Commissioners, questions? No, I have. We gotta have council today. Questions? Okay.
I guess the only thing I might ask is there's a common boundary surrounding residences. Would that pose a future problem, if anything?
I believe so. Where is the common boundary you're referring
It says
to?
relationship to surrounding residences that may share a common boundary or a common structure with the premises proposed for licensing.
I don't believe there's any residence in, I thought that there were, there's no residences in the trade zone. Those are just business offices primarily.
Yeah, it says no residences,
Right. It's just, I think it's just,
but my concern was there was all in caps and underline.
it says in the, I think it was just trying to emphasize that there were no residences within the 500 feet.
Okay.
Motion to approve application number 24-01633.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve application number 24-01633. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is. All right, thank you. Calling agenda item number 7, application number 24-01783, MOA Asian Fusion and Sushi Inc.
Hello, good afternoon, Chair Hong and Commissioners. Leo Shimizu, LEO SHIMIZU, as authorized agent on behalf of MOA Asian Fusion and Sushi Inc. DBA MOA Asian Bistro. No modifications to the investigative report.
Some questions?
No question.
Motion to approve application number 24-01783.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve application number 24-01783. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is.
Thank you.
Thank you. Calling agenda item number 8, request number 23-01846. Craft Beer Company LLC. Okay, so we'll
On that.
yep, jump over. Calling agenda item number 9, mission regarding Straits Hawaii.
May the record reflect Wayne Luke as attorney and authorized agent appearing on behalf of the licensee.
So how are things going?
Everything is going, and it's my understanding that they stopped entertainment for a while.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I guess, have they had any complaints about the noise?
None. I checked with staff and there's no complaints.
But the restaurant itself hasn't been called with complaints of noise. They were supposed to keep track. Okay. And they were actually closing earlier than their license allowed for.
That's, yeah,
What time was that? That was 12, I think. Forgot.
yes, on the weekdays and they're closing at 12.
Question? Yeah. Thank you very much for the update.
Actually, it's 10 o'clock.
At 10 on
Let's
the
call for dinner orders.
Yeah.
We're at 10 o'clock. I'm sorry, but
No, I thought weekdays was 10 and weekends was 12 or something like that. Yeah, because we were worried about the weekday.
it's, you guys got it as dinner order. The last dinner hours would be to 10. Orders.
Okay.
Alright.
I don't think there's any action. that we have
No,
to
there's
take
no
over.
action. We
No.
just wanted the
Review.
update. If anybody has any questions?
Nope.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, calling agenda item number 10, request number 25-01374, Robert Ueoka on behalf of MVW of Hawaii. Business as Marriott's Vacation Club, Waikiki. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman of the Commission, Mr. Patilos, Robert Ueoka on behalf of Marriott Vacation Club. On this matter, we respectfully request a continuance until next week it's on me. I want to get more information for a request. So if it'd be on the 16th, that'll be great. I'm already on the calendar for something else. So January 16th, if possible,
Okay,
just for this matter.
all right. We will. Continuance, calling agenda item number 11, request number 24-01367, Robert Uyoka on behalf of Hilton Grand Vacation Management LLC.
I'm Robert Uyoka on behalf of Hilton Grand Vacations Management LLC. Present to my right, Danielle Shimoda, Director of Operations, first name Ganiell, last name Shimoda. This is a request to allow us to proceed with the hotel application. We're not asking you at this point to approve it. We're just, as background, we filed it in January 2024. And in November 2024, we had a request from licensing, just basically justifying that we're applying for a hotel license. This is a straightforward hotel liquor license application. The owner of the property and the applicant are both subsidiaries of Hilton Resorts Corporation. So they're all under the same umbrella. There's no private ownership. It's only timeshare and hotel sales. It's not like, I actually assisted with the Ritz-Carlton residence, Waikiki, and that involved actually private residences. So that one was a condominium hotel. But in this one, this is not. This is all basically owned by Hilton Resorts Corporation. So all we're asking for today is just be able to proceed with the hotel license application. We still have to go through the preliminary process and the public, but we just wanted to kind of get it moving just because it's been pending for a while.
Right. Mr. Sato. Did you have any statements you wanted to make on this, Mr. Sato? Okay, actually, pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statute, Section 92-4, subsection 92-5A2, A4, sorry, to consult with the board's attorney on questions and issues on a matter pertaining to the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities relating to the determination of a hotel class license. I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All right, go into executive session. Okay, we're back from executive session where we discussed with council the kind of nuance between a condominium hotel, a condo, and a hotel. A couple of questions. One is what service of alcohol is going to be occurring here at this property? It's going to be like a hotel.
Kind of like a hotel, completely like a hotel. Just to let you know, right now, we only have the roof. Is because at the time we got the application for outrigger, we needed a restaurant. And at that time, we had a restaurant, but it wasn't under us. But I think the law changed, so now you don't require a restaurant anymore for a hotel. So that's why I think we can, I mean, you can still have a restaurant, it doesn't have to be under the applicant. So you can be a different licensee, but nonetheless, we are applying for a hotel license. We plan to do room service and operate just like a regular hotel.
Then our next question is by issuing this request, it seems somewhat irrelevant. You could have applied either way without this request coming before us because it doesn't help you. It's unclear to us how that helps you.
It completely helps me because my application has been stuck, hasn't moved. It's the issue that has prevented my application from moving forward.
Because we, the Liquor Commission, will not allow your application to be even considered unless you have this request in front of us.
I kind of hit the wall with licensing, so I didn't know how else to move forward because I was just stuck. So when I put in my request, I requested it and I said, can you schedule for a hearing if necessary? So because this was scheduled for a hearing, I figured it was necessary. But I don't like to come in front of the commission. I purposely submitted my request exactly like that. If necessary, I didn't want to come in front, but here I am.
And so I think some of the discussion is while we could approve your request to apply for whatever category you want, that doesn't, in our opinion, really help you. But if it does help you,
Doesn't guarantee an approval at all. All I want to do is have that hurdle so I can move forward on the application, on the licensing level, not on the commission level.
Yeah. Any questions?
No.
Okay.
You got you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll move to approve request number 24-01367.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve request number 24-01367. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The request is approved.
Thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you so much.
Calling agenda item number 12, request number 25-01392, Zachary Delono Esquire, on behalf of Bars and Brews LLC. Hello.
Good evening, Chairman Fong and fellow commissioners. Zachary Diano, ZACHARY DIIONNO. Legal counsel and authorized agent for Bars and Brews LLC, doing business as Bars and Brews Virtual Golf Lounge and Bars and Brews Golf Lounge. To my left is Brandon Cruz, one of the members of Bars and Brews LLC. I have nothing further to add to the waiver request, but I'm happy to answer any questions you folks have.
Motion to approve request number 25-01392.
second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve request number 25-01392. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The request is approved. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Okay. Oh, 8, yes. Is Craft Beer Company out there? Agenda item number 8, recalling. All right. Then let's do for agenda item number 13. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the adoption of decisions and orders for agenda number 13.
second,
Moved and seconded to approve agenda item number 13, adoption of decision of order. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. Agenda item number 13 is approved. Okay. Calling agenda item number 14, application number. Yeah, 24. Am I correct? Yeah.
Yep.
22-23818 Hala Distilling Company LLC, doing business as Hala Distilling Company. Oh,
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, Keith Kiuchi subbing in for Mia Oxiana, representing the applicant. It is my understanding that he has basically finished construction. And my understanding from Ms. Oxiana, this is another instance where the DPP permit took far too long. But we would ask, because this is almost retroactive. If you look, he was permitted to pick it up through July 31. So we can ask that he be allowed through February 28, 2025 to pick it up. And that would cover the period through that date. If that makes sense.
could you go through that one more time, please?
We would ask that he be allowed an extension of time for the issuance of license through February 28, 2025.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Instead of July 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Motion to approve application number 22-23818 with the amended extension date granted to February 28, 2025.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve application number 22-23818 as amended. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is approved.
And just to let the commission know, on number 8, they sent the hearing notice mistakenly to me. So that might have to be resent out. Yeah, I got both the hearing notice and the investigative report. I replied to the email, said wrong person.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Thanks, Keith.
Okay, calling agenda item number 15, discussions of processes and procedures. Today, we're going to discuss the temporary to special license application. Can we bring up the PowerPoint slide, please? Next slide. Okay, so we've been here long enough to know that a lack of resourcing of the Liquor Commission has caused delays and unnecessary expense and time for applicants for new and transfer licenses. We also are in the uncomfortable position that the rate of applications submitted is exceeding the applications process. And so jumping into this gap, we've been using special licenses as a financial and administratively expensive stopgap for both the commission and for the applicants, so that the applicants can continue to operate after the expiration of the 2 temporary licenses. Next slide. And so for relief options, we've been investigating 2 main topics, trying to speed the time to process applications, either with staff or with process improvements. And then as a second is reducing the cost and administrative expense to applicants. And Vice Chair Hollinger and Commissioner Sakamoto are leading the permitted interaction group to investigate these issues. Next. So a little background on the temporary licenses, right? We are limited by the statute to only allow for issuing of 2 temporary licenses, which is how we get into this boat. And so after issuing 2 120-day licenses, our applicants are stuck. Next slide. And so then on the special licenses that we use as this stopgap, there are 2 options that I would like us to consider. One is the license request and payment that we did address, right? Instead of coming here in little bits and pieces, you can come here all at once and we'll approve a batch of special licenses. But then that led to the uncomfortable problem of requiring all of that money upfront at once. And to avoid that, we allowed for the payment and issuance on a monthly basis. And I think that was received quite well. The other one that we're considering, the commission has proposed a rule change to reduce the cost of the special license by 50% after the expiration of 2 temporary licenses, if we consider the delay based on resourcing at the Liquor Commission itself. Okay, next slide. And so in discussing this possible rule change with the administration, they said it was, well, there's a couple of things. We need to define it better, but there's potential for us to actually implement this prior to the rule change itself. And so I wanted to have a discussion here with initially under processes and procedures, and then as an agendized item after we have a discussion both here and with council. But one is to direct the administration to establish a request form, like what is it that the applicant has done? What is it that the agency has done? And what is it that's holding up the application, right? That's one. And then from there, perhaps we can make a determination that it's warranted for us to waive the special license after the completion of 2 temporary licenses. The other item is for transparency, right? So that people that come up here to request this reduction in fees, they can tell us what's going on, like what's holding them up. And so that provides us some transparency within the process itself and allows us to provide potential relief if we would want to waive some sort of administrative delay as presented at the time of the request for a reduction in the price of the special license. The other one is, I don't even know if we have the authority to do this. So can we start this proof of concept prior to the promulgation of rules? So before we go into executive session, that's kind of what I've laid out so far. Do we have any discussion, questions? Okay. Oh.
Chair, so if you guys want to have a discussion in open session, we don't need to.
Yeah, no, that's what this was for. Let's have a discussion in open session. The only reason why was to talk about any of the actual applications of our legal constraints. And you're welcome to, everybody's welcome to, so don't bother any of you.
Supervising Investigator Daniel Sato. It seems like a good idea. I just wanted to kind of shed light on the background of our backlog and how it's been in the past several years. So overall, like back in 2022, the licensing section processed or intook 811 cases. 100 of which was new applications. 29 of them were transfer applications. And there was 65 officer director changes, 15 stock changes, and a total of 602 miscellaneous, special catering, etc. For a total of 811. In 2023, the overall amount of investigations was 837, which comes out to 85 new applications, 27 transfers, and 628 miscellaneous and so on. In 2024, the licensing section received 925 cases. 108 were new applications, 32 were transfers, and 95 were add and remove principals, 15 were stock transfers, and 675 miscellaneous.
Oh, can I ask a question, Ria? So our general throughput is getting better. Is that what the trend is? So that's.
I think over the past several years, the trend it's been climbing up.
The volume inputs are climbing up.
Yes,
Yes.
the sheer volume, that being said, that there's a lot of new applications are coming in. Just in October of last year was 22 new applications all at once.
Wait, I think you were saying that the output is going up, not the inputs.
Output or the input? The
You were-
volume, what's coming into the shop is increasing.
But the numbers you just gave us were the numbers processed or the
No,
numbers
the
coming?
numbers.
That's the
intake.
breakdown of the total number.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that was.
that's what's coming in the funnel.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so I can give you the 2024 what was processed
Yeah.
numbers.
Got it.
So 2024, we completed 68 new applications, 29 transfer applications, 102 temporary license applications, 87 catering license applications, 175 specials, 2 tour cruise license applications, 48 transient vessel applications, for a total of 511 applications. And that's just the entire year. In addition to 95 ad remove principles, 13 stock transfers, 1 conversion, approximately 34 alterations, 45 temporary reduction requests, 124 temporary increase, 55 minor employment requests, 13 alcohol permits, 6 outside warehouse requests, and 1 trial entertainment request, for a total of 387 total requests. Overall investigations completed was 898. So as you can see that we intook 925, but we pushed out 898. So we're still at a kind of a deficit, so to speak. So we've been trying to look at other alternatives in-house. I've been working with Administrator Helios. We're kind of exploring new ideas to help the licensees and applicants. One of which is to kind of have that application process more explained thoroughly. The reason why that is was from January 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2024. There was about 452 deficiencies. That's a full range of applications and requests. So it's pretty much a substantial amount. If you look at the 900 and you have 400 of those were incorrect and they were just being input. So of course, you know, discrepancies takes time to resolve those issues. So I've been working with the administration to figure out different ways of how we can make it better. So
Well, we know that you guys are understaffed and we're trying to solve it from a staffing standpoint. But, you know, to the extent that we can also solve it from a process standpoint or to, and I guess for us, when we sit here and we, you know, grant people their special licenses and you can hear the sense of frustration, because it's frustrating, right? They have to pay much more than they would be if we were more operationally efficient. This will, I think, potentially allow us to just get this viewpoint from the public of what's going on when they get to their end of their second temporary license. It could be with them, they're not doing whatever, or it could be with us. And if it's with us, then we should grant them some relief, right? Because, and I think it's somewhat misunderstood, right? That the amount of money that we take in through special licenses, all the money is kind of the same, right? All it does is reduce the amount of payment coming from the people that already have licenses when we do our general budgeting. And so it seems like we're penalizing the people that can least pay for it because they're startups, as opposed to, you know, people that are well established. And so it's somehow trying to foster and encourage new businesses to thrive is kind of the goal here, right?
yeah, so like for the processes part, that how we encounter issues in licensing on investigations. Because of course, you know, I do take a look at the ones that come before you and I said we ran out of second tab. I had the luxury of pulling one of those. And looking at it, taking a look and running with the investigation. It was kind of a eye-catching thing, especially when I went down to the premises and the floor plan is completely wrong. So, the applicant just straight up told me that they submitted the wrong floor plan in order to get in line. So, that being said, it's kind of like one of those catch-22. Do I just turn in, whatever floor plan and hopefully it gets in line and they can fix it later?
Yeah.
But the flip side to that is, it requires the investigator to do 2 investigations, not 1. Especially for a transfer. So, I think public outreach is good also. That way they know what to expect. That way they're not like, oh my God, I gotta get more specials.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I guess in a way, we can actually just, try to explain it more better. And I think working with administration, we're looking at videos and how-tos.
Yeah, but I think the other thing is when people come before us and in whatever cases that, that's a self-inflicted wound. By putting in the wrong, it didn't help your case to move it forward, right? So when they come before us and say, so why is this taking so long? Well, I submitted the wrong floor plan on purpose. Okay, you don't get a pass. You have to pay the full price, right?
Yeah. And that, there's gonna be those one-offs where it's out of left field and things just change all of a sudden.
Yeah. But I think this is a good way for us to try to allow some relief, right? For those people that it's just, okay, it's taking a long time because we don't have enough staff. Okay, you should get relief. We're not trying to solve anything here. This is just the first of quite a few, I hope, discussions on this topic. The numbers that you've given us will be useful, but in a future public hearing, we should probably put that in as part of the agendized item.
I think as we move or work forward with the permitted interaction group, the numbers and ideas are going to be focusing on ways to help or find processes or procedures that will either expedite or make it easier for the same things we're talking about. Public not knowing what things we see as our major stumbling blocks or stopping blocks, right? If you think putting in a floor plan that isn't what it is now will help you move forward faster, it will not. Figure out what your floor plan is so it can be one-time deal, right? One of the questions I was going to ask you with the numbers that you provided, right? So the specials that we listed in each of the years, right? Are those additional specials that were submitted or put in because their actual license is in that group that was received already?
So for 2024, I would say a substantial amount was in to supplement their permanent license.
Okay.
But there are those one-offs like, like the catering companies that they cannot apply for permanent.
So they're all not mutually exclusive. the
Yeah,
licenses.
so for us, we try to look at different alternatives, like the floor plan situation. We kind of tell the applicant, hey, if you can accurately draw this out and resubmit, I'll take that. So we try to reach out as best as we can. So that way it helps them to, because we don't want them to take more time and, go through the extra effort. I mean, if it's a win-win kind of thing.
Yeah, I view it as like 3 levers to tinker with from a problem solving standpoint. There's the requirements of the license, so the what, and then the processing and how we do the process is the how, and then the resources, the who. And so kind of drilling deep into each of those 3 areas, and there's probably opportunity in each of those to improve the overall end-to-end.
And this is kind of an open meeting amongst us. If any of the rest of you would like to comment, please. And like I said, this is just the kind of kickoff of this, but we can I certainly hope to have a real agendized discussion in the future.
Yeah, so
you know, because I get asked questions all the time. But I need to understand, the numbers you gave us for each year, yeah? Is the numbers that you receive for that particular calendar or fiscal year. But how many of that is actually carried over into the next year?
That depends. So I think for 2022 to 23, a substantial amount because we had people who retired or resigned. And that kind of left us at a deficit to roll things over.
Yeah, well, my point here is that you could say you received 100 new applications. But if you're still working on 200 applications from the previous year, that makes your current year 300 that you gotta work on, right?
So, there's a lot of one-offs to that. There's some cases where the applicant cannot afford like an architect to redraw the floor plan, and they really need, you know, an architect. And there's some instances where they're trying to figure out what type of business model they're going with, but they put in an application anyway. And sometimes they change the class kind or category on the spot, so we have to kind of shift, but we have to put them on the side. And
I'm just trying to look at the total profile of what you actually have to deal with. If you got 8 investigators, you got 8 investigators, but if your numbers are compounding, you're gonna get deeper behind the ball, right?
Which is the resource issue.
Yeah.
Of the 3.
yeah,
So you never kept track.
The more people we need.
So it's like, what are we requiring of everybody? Does those things still make sense? Should those be reviewed and amended?
Mm.
Then the process and how we process the application, how we intake and do we do it FIFO, first in, last out? It sounds like how we're doing it. Are there specific swim lanes that we have for applications that are more expedited? There's probably a number of different ways to approach it. So that's another opportunity to look at. And then the number of bodies, which is the third bucket, the resource.
And Commissioner, if I may, and I think when we talk about the backlog, it really is the transfers and new applications that we're talking about, right? I mean, you've heard Daniel talk about the fact that the number of total applications have increased, and there's a mix, you know, from the specials to catering to other requests and things like that they have a responsibility of investigating to a degree, depending on what's involved. And I think, Commissioner Yun, you're right. There's a potential for additive growth in the backlog, and I think when we look at the data, we look at what's been done during the year, what came in during the year, and so we could look at those numbers and say, hey, if this is what you know, there's a starting point. You could do the math and say what's that really going to look like? What's the backlog really looking like, right? And so I think that's a good way of looking at it. And I think the commission has heard that we're trying to throw as many resources as we can. It's somewhat difficult in terms of the process that we need to go through and the way the system was designed and who can and who can be an LCI3 and licensing. So we're trying to deal with that. You know, I think you've been here since we acknowledged the fact that our reorganization has been done, but filling that will be filling what additional positions we've created will take some time.
Oh,
And so we're trying to do things. We've engaged some people on personal services contracts, and as Daniel said, as a team, we're looking at the way we do things, and sometimes the meetings get a little heated. But we're trying to address all. We understand the concern, and we're trying to do that. And I think Commissioner Sakamoto is right in that it will take pulling on a varied number of levers, from capacity to process to fees, whatever else that we need to do. We need to look at all of that. I hate to say it, it'll take a village to do this, and hopefully that's what we're heading towards. And it requires a global perspective. It's not just, like one thing. But yeah, the concern is no matter what, if we continue to, on an annual basis, or even let me just say, even on a monthly basis, if we continue to have outputs less than inputs, and in fact, in just those two critical areas, right? Then yeah, it'll be additive in nature, and the backlog will be getting bigger.
I grant you that civil service process for hiring is a bear. Takes too damn long. But are we able to look at temporary hires or reserves or additional possible? Glenn's gonna squeak, but
Yeah,
using of enforcement to help
yeah, we're
here and
looking at-
there.
We're looking at certain aspects, and even placing people on a temporary assignment basis, right? It's not as easy as just throw somebody in.
No, and that's
Right,
the
they're gonna
point that we
need- they're-
have with the city council and the mayor's office.
Yeah, they're gonna need,
Because they always want to say, well,
Yeah.
can't you hire more people? But we know it's gonna take what, at least
Yeah,
a year to get them somewhat.
yeah, they're
trained?
gonna need training, and they're gonna need to know what to look for. And I dare say that sometimes it gets pretty complicated. People are using complex
We know
structures.
applicants are part of the problem.
Yeah,
for sure.
and-
But we can't blame them because they make the biggest noise.
And I think your comment essentially highlights something that DPP has
Yeah.
highlighted as well in trying to address their backlog.
Mhm.
That having the applicants and licensees engaged in the process is critical. Their ability to respond to what the agency puts out or requests is really critical to reducing the time that it takes. So I think, we want to provide our applicants and our licensees with information. I think it's something that we can't abandon, the customer service part of our.
Well, let
of
me
our-
ask,
of our
let
job.
me ask this. All right, would semi-annual classes for prospective licensee applicants help?
I think the question becomes perspective, right? You don't know who wants to be in, but we do have plans to have a symposium.
Yep.
And to not have but to reestablish a symposium that we traditionally had. So hopefully people who practice can ask questions.
The idea of having a form for the request for relief is they have to tell us what they did and what they think is being held up. And if what they think is being held up is that they're not doing what they're supposed to, well, at least when they came in front of us, it's like, well, you need to do this. Go back and get that done, and here's your special license, right? You kind of don't get relief, but at least it's now all out on paper when they come here, instead of just kind of complaining.
Yeah.
They can have a
I
point
think
to it. Everybody can have a point, and we can get some information out of
The
it.
value for is the reason for the barrier, right? It will be out there.
Yeah, what percentage of all the applications coming in are handled by an authorized representative or an attorney versus the applicant itself?
I think majority is attorney and authorized agent.
Still, we have challenges, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you hire them, because they know the process. I would think intuitively that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah.
I don't wanna put anybody down, but we try to work with them as well, and I mean, for the most part, like I've worked with countless attorneys and I tell them point blank, I'll even, for even floor plans, we now send them pictures along with the floor plan. It's something we didn't do before, because we used to actually put it in the reports. But now, try to simplify things, right? Is to send them the email with the pictures.
Yeah.
I say, hey, hurry up and get it right.
That's who the audience of the symposium should be for, the authorized representatives, and if they're representing the majority of the applicants. Yeah.
Well, Commissioner Sakamoto, I guess there's a lot of things where a lot of applicants and even attorneys, they kind of don't understand how the process works. even though they've been in it for a long time.
I'm like, why are you paying these guys if they're not?
Yeah,
understanding
that's
about stuff?
really,
Like,
And, you know, sometimes it's disheartening for us because
Mm.
we're back there, we're like, you know, sitting there like, we're working on your stuff, but we hear that kind of thing, but we want to help
that's
them
disappointing.
move forward.
No, we hear that all the time, that like people are very helpful, but it takes a long time, right? We hear.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is misinformation sometimes, like, you know, how like some people, they think that once it goes in to our office, it's good. But as with the numbers here, it's like 400 something was deficient.
Yeah.
And it had to go back and
50%,
forth.
40%, 50%.
And that's a
That's
substantial.
not surprising. I sound like a broken record. I compare it to running the mortgage business when I did, when you
Yeah.
get the application.
Yeah.
You know, over half were dirty applications, and there's a lot of back and forth to get it through the say.
Commissioner.
If only everyone had a
Let me-
clean
let me just
application,
say
it'd be
about-
so
Let me
easy.
just say about, I hooked up, by you mean by dirty is that it's just inaccurate.
Inaccurate,
Yeah.
inaccurate.
But conversely, like if this is your first time opening a bar or whatnot, first time buying a house, buying a mortgage, you don't know what to do. You're gonna need help. You're gonna make
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah, and I
But in
think,
this case, the applicants go to an authorized representative or an attorney for which they think have the expertise because they don't know obviously know how to do it.
But then again, applicants, they snowball the attorneys and don't tell the whole story either.
True. But, and that's kind of back to the form, right? We can have visibility on
Mhm.
the hard marker of 2 temps completed. Something weird is going on.
Mhm.
We don't have to solve it all now,
No,
but I do
good
want to go into
discussion.
executive session, and I enjoy having a working session like this of us and the staff here, so
Mhm.
I would look forward to trying this more.
So you want to go to executive session now?
Yeah. Unless anybody else wants to say anything in open session.
A question before we do, sorry.
Go ahead.
So when you have, you have these people that are putting in new licenses and then they're going through temps and specials. Is any of the stuff that they need to do or provide for temps and specials stuff that would actually help their permanent license, or is it actually just getting it all?
So
Because obviously, if that, my view is if that's something that is needed for the permanent license, I'd want education for them or a way to tell them, you're gonna do this for the temp anyway, you might as well be giving it for the permanent versus, you know what I mean, wasting time on only one or the other and thinking that it's going there, because it might not all be going together.
to put a little bit of background on that one. A lot of times they'll come before you and, you know, throughout the new application, it took them like 2 years, right? I've like going back to my transfer that was processed. A special was processed for that application. The floor plan in the special was wrong. Knowingly wrong, because the only, we don't go out to the field
On a
first
special,
on a special.
yeah,
But we're gonna go out there for a transfer.
okay,
So, I mean, it's a give and take, and you know, a
Okay,
lot of
ways to
times
Get around.
they
then we
change
just move it
things
forward, yeah,
and they don't tell us.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that is the rule. They have to tell us, and if they don't, it's gonna be a delay and it's their fault.
Good discussion.
Yeah, no, I like having a working session in this fashion. So. All right.
So go to executive session.
Yeah, the chair will entertain a motion to go into executive session. The commission may go into executive session pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statute, section 92-4, subsection 92-5A4, to consult with the board's attorneys on questions and issues on a matter pertaining to the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities, and relating to the authority of the commission to implement the cost reduction proof of concept prior to the promulgation of liquor commission rules. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session for this purpose.
So moved.
We're in executive session.
I'm just sitting over there now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we are back from executive session. In our discussions with council, we have been assured it is within our authority to direct the administrator to implement this proof of concept. We will hold hearings on this, but at least for now, we would direct the administration to establish the data elements that a request form to give us insight into the delays in a transfer or new application would entail. So that's something that we could review at a future hearing when the administration is ready. Anything else?
Okay.
All right, then we will go to agenda item number 16, or are we going to amend the agenda and drop that one and then do 17? Either one.
I would just do 16 and we'll make a motion to amend the agenda and delete 17.
Okay. Agenda item number 16, administrator, our weekly report.
Commissioner Sabatilos, Administrator, Honolulu Liquor Commission. I forgot what my title is. So I think, again, I'm sorry to say this, but we're really focused on hiring. It's a city initiative to try to that we're trying to assist in addressing. I just want to let you know that we participated in one-day hiring for office assistants, and there are several candidates that are of interest. We additionally conducted interviews for records management analysts. I want to let you know that I believe next week, because of the end of the pay period, we expect LCI 1 to join the agency, as well as a licensing clerk. The licensing clerk has been empty for a while, and that would be really helpful in terms of dealing with the initial submission of applications to the agency. Beyond that, I think Supervising Investigator Sato talked about the discussions we've been having internally on how to assist applicants avoid some of the pitfalls that we've seen. So I think Supervising Investigator Sato actually went through and identified some of the things that result in delays in processing. Just to name a few things, believe it or not, notification authorized agents, or the name of the authorized agents that isn't there. Of course, certificate of trade name. And I think that the big thing that we all talk about a lot is like the floor plans and the tax management. So we're trying our best to try to identify items that we can assist applicants with. But I think that's also something that we need to be a little careful about, because maybe too much information would be a little too much. But we're trying to identify those things, trying to prioritize the items that are important, that cause the most delays. And with that, I'm open to any questions you may have.
Let's see, body worn cameras, any?
Body worn cameras. So as you know, I've submitted the policies for review by HGA that I believe the time frame ends mid-month. We'll reach out and see what happens there. Likewise with the automated routine inspections and geolocation items. The policy is with HGA. The big barrier for us is getting the procurement process in the right place.
What about the data migration?
That will rely on us being in the right place with regard to purchasing processes. So So there's an RQN that will allow us to engage with our vendor to address those things. And once the RQN is done, then data migration, automated routine inspections, as well as geolocation data can be developed.
Not to put any pressure on you, but Commissioner Sakamoto is putting together the evaluation of the administrator form, of which I believe those were items that we would be conducting.
There were items that you were concerned about, and there are items that I'm concerned about as well. That said, there are certain hurdles to be overcome, and we're trying our best to overcome those hurdles.
So the procurement hurdles that you've talked about, that sits with a different department in the city?
It actually sits with our department, but because we are administratively attached to BFS, and purchasing approvals are with BFS.
Okay. I'm only asking because if it falls on someone that is outside of your means, I would love to have them come here and give us an understanding of what their process becomes and why I know that's a big thing with the city and it's an issue, but obviously for me, I don't want to hold individuals to a certain standard even if you were pushing every day and they weren't going to give you anything. That's, we need to tell people that this is what we need so we can help the public and everyone gain trust in this group.
Yeah, Commissioner, I think that's one of the big initiatives by this administration is try to address the purchasing the purchasing process and the fact that it takes a while to go through.
Okay.
I think we talk about addressing the backlog. You can guess probably similar issues with regard to addressing the backlog in purchasing approvals as well.
Okay. I just want to know that those are the people that are, making me somewhat.
Hey, anything else?
No.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 17. I would take a motion to strike agenda item 17 from this agenda.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded to strike agenda item number 17 from the agenda. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. Agenda item number 17 is now stricken. And with that, we are